состояла вообще, как шли, какие были новости. С самого начала, где-то дней 10 мы, находясь в Калифорнии, в АКА, тренировались. DC, what's up, brother? How are you? How is everything? I'm here, brother. I'm in Dagestan. Находясь в АКА, в Сан-Хосе, мы тренировались где-то около 10 дней, не зная, будем мы драться и где мы будем драться, в каком формате пройдет бой, с зрителями, без зрителей. Вообще очень много вопросов было, на которых у нас не было ответов. Пришла информация от UFC, что бой 100% не пройдет в Америке. Они сказали, что бой пройдет, следующий бой пройдет, 99% он пройдет в Абу-Даби. И мы, посоветовавшись с UFC, решили за месяц до боя, это было где-то 19 или 20, надо проверить, посмотреть, сейчас точно не помню дату. И когда мы туда прилетели, нам сказали, что границы закрыты, и что ни один человек, гражданин другой национальности, там, у кого не имеется паспорт Эмиратов, тот не может заезжать в Эмираты, в Дубай и в Абу-Даби. И нам пришлось оттуда уже улететь в Россию. Мы прилетели в Россию. В данный момент я нахожусь в Дагестане, и каждый день я тренируюсь и готовлюсь. Только не знаю, к чему мне готовиться. К какому бою. Если уже когда мы прилетели в Россию, нам уже запретили выезд. И запретили въезд иностранных граждан. Точно так же закрыли въезд и выезд в Америке, в Европе, в Эмиратах, в России, везде. Весь мир ушел в карантин. Весь мир находится сейчас дома. И вот сейчас до меня дошла информация, что UFC готовит турнир уже в Америке. Они с каким-то штатом договариваются, что они хотят провести этот турнир в Америке. И в данный момент я уже не могу уже не вылетать с России, не залетать в Америку. И в таком, скажем, в изоляции нахожусь. Ну, точно так же, как и все вы, которые вот сейчас смотрят мой прямой эфир. И сейчас уже идет уже переговоры, типа, если даже я не могу принять участие на этом турнире, что они проведут этот турнир со мной или без. Пожалуйста, я не противник того, чтобы UFC организовывали турнир. Пускай организовывают, пускай это делают по закону, по тем законам, которых, ну, по тем законам страны, в котором они хотят провести этот турнир. Если, например, в Америке разрешается не больше 50 человек собираться и делать турнир, пускай делают. Я сторонник того, чтобы бойцы выполняли и отрабатывали свой контракт, чтобы они могли выступить, чтобы они могли как-то заработать себе на жизнь, могли заработать себе деньги, чтобы они могли платить по счетам, платить налоги. Я знаю, сколько проблем бывает у бойцов, и пока они не подерутся, они не могут эти проблемы решить. Так что я не противник этого. И как мне стало известно, они сейчас даже ищут соперника для Тони Фергюсона. Так как Тони Фергюсон сейчас находится в Америке, и они хотят провести бой в Америке, я не могу отсюда вылетать. И чтобы провести бой, для Тони нужен соперник. А я нахожусь здесь, в России. И здесь я нахожусь не по своей воле. Я посоветовался с UFC, я с ними поговорил. Они нам сказали, что 99% бой пройдет в Абу-Даби. Если даже он не пройдет в Абу-Даби, этот бой пройдет по ту сторону части света, так скажем. А в Америку он точно не пройдет. К этому времени, когда мы это знали, я уже провел в АКА 5 недель тяжелых тренировок, я был в очень хорошей форме. Так что в данный момент я нахожусь такой в недоумении, так скажем, что пройдет, как пройдет, в каком формате. И точно так же, как и у вас, у меня очень много вопросов. И еще было чуть тяжело тренироваться в последнее время. Почему? Потому что знаете, когда ты готовишься к самому важному бою в своей жизни, и когда ты не знаешь, пройдет бой, где он пройдет, и вообще...
Back to the drawing board, and we're figuring this out right now. As we're speaking right now, I have people working on this thing as we speak. So Listen, I am absolutely fucking relentless. And I said that this fight is going to go on, and it will. And, you know, when you're talking about ambulances and safety and all that stuff, just like you saw when you came out here to the PI and all that stuff, we go overboard with everything all the time. I mean, think about this. In the 20 years, this thing's been going for almost 25 years, but in the 20-year history that I've been involved, and before me, there's never been a death or serious injury. All my fighters want to fight. My staff wants to work. You know, everybody who's involved in what I'm doing is absolutely willing and able to do this. And the thing is with my fighters is when they're with me, they're getting the best medical attention they could possibly get. I mean, you know, better than if they were home alone by themselves or whatever their situation is. And I've reached out to everybody, not just my employees that work for me, but my fighters too. If them or a loved one becomes ill and needs me, I'm here. I will do everything in my power to help and take care of them. So that's a given always. And this fight will go on.
And now the UFC is looking at around 5 a.m. Eastern time. Khabib Nurmagomedov, your guy, on Instagram Live, all the rage these days, telling the world that he is in Russia. He went back home to Russia around a week or so ago. And now, as a result of the Russian government saying they have closed the borders, he cannot leave. He was under the impression that the fight against Tony Ferguson on April 18th would take place overseas. And now the UFC is looking at locations in the United States. He can't leave. Tony can't enter Russia. So it appears as though that fight is on life support. And as a result of that, the UFC has reached out to Justin Gaethje, who just so happens to be managed by the same management as Khabib Nurmagomedov, and they've offered him the Tony Ferguson fight on April 18th in this undisclosed location in the United States. And as a result of all of that, Ferguson's still contemplating, Gaethje's still contemplating, and we have a flood now of people who have thrown their names into the hat. The likes of Dustin Poirier, Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington. Everyone wants a piece of this pie. What is your reaction to all of this that just happened like 3 or 4 hours ago?
I mean, that's crazy. I was tucked into my bed resting, you know, and all this is going on. So Khabib's out.
It appears as though Khabib cannot fight because he can't leave Russia, nor can Tony enter Russia. Khabib also said that they stopped in United Arab Emirates because they heard that the fight would happen in Abu Dhabi, but then they found out that they wouldn't be able to leave UAE as well. So he just went back to Dagestan. And he's in Dagestan right now. So
it seems to me, right, like because this thing is so up in the air, a lot of miscommunication going on, right? Because if you thought the fight was going to be there, then Khabib leaves. It's like, okay, fine, go home, go there, wherever you to Abu Dhabi. But then they say Abu Dhabi is doing no fights now. Now you're stuck. So now your champion is back home and can't get back into the country. That's crazy. It's hard to make plans in a time like this. And I think when you see Dana on those, he's on videos about every day talking about every time I hit something, there's a hurdle, right? I think these are the hurdles that he's referring to, because I'm sure that Khabib didn't just leave the United States. He was probably advised that it was safe to go to train there. And now he finds himself on the out. I mean, this fight is so cursed. I've never seen a fight so cursed in my life that I don't think they'll ever fight. When it comes to Tony Ferguson, I mean, I don't know if I'm fighting these dudes. He's wanted to fight Khabib for so long. At this point, he's got to be doing pretty good financially. I think you wait for the fight. Let the other dudes fight.
Okay, so there's a few things there. Number one, Khabib did back up what you just said. He said that he was told that he could leave the United States, he could leave San Jose and go back home, and he thought the fight would take place overseas. To me, there's a couple of red flags there. Why not stay in the same country as Tony? Because at the end of the day, if you're in the same country, you're in the same boat. For you to leave America and to be completely separated from him, you're thus ensuring that this fight can't happen.
No, that's not necessarily true. I think you're jumping the gun a little bit. Because we're thinking about him as a fighter, right? Khabib the fighter. You're not thinking about Khabib the father, right? You have the father's telling you go home to your family, your children, and your wife, and your father, and your mother. The fighter's saying, I need to make this fight happen. At a point, when do you decide the level of importance? And I think, to me, it sounded like he went to do the fight because they told him it was going to be in Abu Dhabi. They said that's where to go. That the fight was going to be 99% done or something like that. Go to Abu Dhabi. Go to Abu Dhabi. That's where we're fighting. And then now they tell him he can't fight there. So it's like you go home to your family. You don't come back to the United States.
Fair point. And I think that anyone, bless you, by the way.
Thank you.
Nice job on the elbow.
Yeah, elbow cuff.
It's a tough spot. And I don't sit here and criticize Khabib. I think first and foremost, everyone should be with their family right now. If he just came out and said, like, I went home because I was concerned for my kids, my wife, my dad, my mom, who can begrudge that? That's why I think this is putting everyone, as we talked about last week, in an awkward position because you have to keep training. You have to be away from your family. He doesn't live in San Jose, obviously, with his family. They're back home in Russia. So it's a very awkward spot to be in. It's a very tough spot. But here's the one thing that I don't necessarily agree with you on. All right. If they're going to try and go through with this, and we'll talk about, the roadblocks that come with that. If you're Tony Ferguson, you don't know when normalcy resumes. And oh, by the way, which show told you that when normalcy resumes, they will reshuffle the deck and try to put on the biggest fights possible? Conor, Khabib. If you're Tony Ferguson, you have a payday hanging over your head right now in 3 weeks, and you've been training for this fight.
Okay.
Why not just take the payday?
I'm wrong. Like, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. If you're Tony Ferguson, you fight. Because guess what? Like you said, he's been. Let me tell you who you don't fight. All right. First off, you do fight, but there are a couple guys you don't fight. You don't fight a Gilbert Burns. You don't fight a guy that fought in Brazil. This thing can work out for Tony, right? Because he has been preparing. All these dudes throwing their names in the hat, they haven't been able to train because they had no fights on the book. So this thing can work out for him in a way that I say, give me Jorge Masvidal, the biggest name out there, right? Jorge Masvidal said he would fight. I saw it on ESPN. I say, give me Jorge. He can't possibly be prepared to go and fight a guy like Tony Ferguson. But I think you have to be very careful as Tony with who you choose as an opponent, because right now he's in the driver's seat. He's in the driver's seat in the sense that he can go, okay, I'll fight this guy. I'll fight this guy. Because they need him to fight. This fight card has been sold on Khabib, Tony finally, after all these chances. If you can keep one half of that together, then you got to fight. But if you have nobody on there and you're just putting together a card with all kinds of new different people, then why, UFC 249 was supposed to be Khabib versus Tony. Now it just becomes another fight or another fight night. We need one of those names in the main event.